Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over the pattern over the next couple of weeks. We're going to have some warmer weather across the north and the west, as well as some chillier weather over the southern United States with some rain possible in the east and also in the southwest where we'll be dealing with some drought relief. So taking a look at the current National Weather Service page, you can see that we currently have a few red flag warnings in effect for parts of the northwest, as well as some air quality alerts scattered throughout the west and the northern plains in that gray color. We have some flood watches in parts of Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona. And other than that, we don't have many other watches or warnings currently in place. Yesterday, we had a high temperature of 121 degrees in Death Valley, California, with a low temperature of 35 degrees, 12 miles northeast of Sand Creek Station, Oregon. The highest rainfall report yesterday was in Ridge, Texas, and there were no snowfall reports as of yesterday. So taking a look at the temperature anomaly map, this is basically showing you where the warmer and colder air masses are throughout the United States. You can see that, for example, a warmer air mass would be right in here in the oranges and reds, and then the colder air masses are going to be signified in the blues and greens. So that's how you can kind of read this map. Blues and greens are colder, and the oranges and reds are warmer. So this would be for tomorrow. You can see how much of the central part of the country is under some chillier weather, and that is mainly because we have a front going past the northern plains that's leaving behind some colder temperatures in front of it, and it's bringing in some warmer temperatures out ahead of it into the northeast and the Ohio Valley, as well as for parts of the northwest as well. So this would be for Thursday. Here would be for Friday, and you can see everything shifts over to the east a little bit. We have some warmer temperatures starting to break out into southern and central Canada, as well as the northern plains in the United States. You can also see some of those colder temperatures heading a little bit further to the east. So now they're creeping into the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and even down through parts of the southeast. Still some warmer temperatures out and along the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. Taking a look at Saturday, you can see it's still pretty much the same over many of these areas. Not a lot has changed. Still colder over the Pacific Northwest, as well as some warmer temperatures still over the top of the northern plains and also into parts of southern Canada. We have some colder temperatures still in for the southern plains, the central plains, and even through parts of the Ohio Valley and the northeast, with a few areas of warmer temperatures into the mid-Atlantic. So it's a little bit scattered all over the place. We're not going to be dealing with anything that's going to be too far above or below what is normal for this time of year on either side. Taking a look at Sunday, you can see that we're still dealing with some warmer temperatures in the northern plains, but now it's starting to spread a little bit further to the west. So now pretty much anywhere from the Rockies westward is dealing with some warmer temperatures, and pretty much anywhere east of there, except for the northern plains, is dealing with some colder and chillier temperatures. So it's getting a little bit chillier in through the eastern 2/3 of the country, and then across the west, it's actually starting to warm up a little bit. Fairly warm if you live along southern Canada or into areas like Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, or Minnesota. So it's going to be right within this area here where we're going to be dealing with the majority of the warm air just kind of sticking up into that area. Taking a look at Monday, you can still see those colder temperatures in through parts of the central plains and all the way to the east coast. And even though they are showing up as fairly below normal, so this would be 6 or 7 degrees below normal Celsius, which would be around 15 degrees Fahrenheit below normal, that's really not that cold since we are in July. So instead of dealing with maybe temperatures up near 85 or 88 degrees, now you're dealing with temperatures that are getting up into the mid and upper 70s instead of the mid and upper 80s or even the low 90s. So it's just going to be a little bit more comfortable. It's not going to be necessarily super cold. Definitely nothing that would cause any damage to crops or plants just yet. We're only dealing with a little bit of summer cooler weather. Really nothing too concerning in terms of cold weather. the coldest these temperatures are really going to drop is into the 60s at best. So they're still going to stay fairly high up there. We're not expecting anything too crazy in terms of these colder temperatures. And then looking at Wednesday of next week, just to kind of skip forward a little bit, you can see still very cold, or not very cold, but still fairly cold in parts of the eastern half of the country, and then even down through the southern plains and the southwest. Still a little bit warmer than normal, in through the northern Rockies, the northern plains, and even into parts of central Canada. So taking a look at the upper air setup, this is going to show you why this is happening. So let's take a snapshot at Thursday. So this would be for tomorrow. You can see here's the upper air setup. We have a little bit of a ridge in through parts of the East Coast. So we are dealing with a little bit of that warm air rising up along the East Coast. We have a trough in through the central part of the country, so that's a little bit of chillier air. And then you have that ridge back in through the west. So you are dealing with a little bit more in the way of warmer weather in through that area for tomorrow. So that's the upper air breakdown for tomorrow. If we look at for midweek, looking at Sunday, you can see that we have still very, very warm temperatures. We have a little bit of a trough in through the Ohio Valley and then into the Tennessee Valley. But for the majority of the country, we have this big ridge up in through the Rockies. We have another ridge offshore of the East Coast, which is helping to bring in some really warm temperatures throughout the East Coast. So we have a very warm setup. If you live on either side of the country, in the central part of the country, we're still dealing with a little bit of those cooler and colder than normal temperatures. And then if we look at for the early part of this upcoming week for Tuesday, you can see that we have that ridge up and through parts of the Rockies. So that's bringing in some of those really warm temperatures in parts of the central Canada and also into the northern plains. And then we have this trough which is digging in through the southern and eastern United States, somewhat like this. So we are dealing with a little bit of a trough which is digging in again through the south, and that's allowing some of those colder temperatures to just kind of stick there in those areas. Looking at the Climate Prediction Center's forecast over the next 6 to 10 days, which goes from the 19th through the 23rd, you can see that we're expecting warmer temperatures in through the northern and western part of the country, with colder temperatures in the south and also up through parts of the southeast and the Tennessee Valley. So pretty much the entire southern half of the country, I would say, is looking at below normal temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days. If we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, which goes from the 21st through the 27th, you can see that we're expecting colder than normal temperatures in the southern tier of the country. And then along the northern part of the United States, we're expecting those warmer than normal temperatures, especially for areas into the northern plains. So taking a look at the drought relief and also just excessive rainfall throughout the eastern United States, you can see that we're expecting over the next about 7 days to have an average rainfall over these areas of about 1 to 3 inches anywhere east of the Mississippi River. So we're dealing with a rather high amount of rainfall expected in through these areas, even areas up into central Canada, which I know some of my viewers from up there were talking about the drought issues in that area. Looks like you will get a little bit of rainfall, maybe up to half an inch of rainfall. So not a lot of rainfall, but still definitely enough to kind of help with the drought a little bit up there. And then of course in through the southwest, we're dealing with not too high of numbers. If you live in the eastern United States, maybe half an inch or 3/10 of an inch of rainfall doesn't sound like a lot, but especially if you live in areas like Arizona, Nevada, or Utah, where it really hasn't rained in almost a year or at least a few months in these areas, it is definitely good to at least get maybe 3/10 to half an inch of rainfall. So definitely some good news over there. They are getting their fair share of the drought relief. Definitely no more rain needed in through the eastern part of the country, the eastern third especially. We've been dealing with a lot of flooding in these areas that's been reported. So definitely we kind of need to reverse. We need some of that rain over the west and a little bit of that drier weather in through the east. But luckily, we are getting at least some of that. We're dealing with some of those, some of the active pattern kind of shifting into the southwest. So that's definitely good news. Taking a look at the precipitation anomaly, it will actually be a little bit below normal if you live in the northern half of the country. So we are dealing with some amount of drier weather, although you will still see maybe about an inch of rainfall over the next 7 to, I would say, 14 days. So still some amount of rainfall, but it should be a little bit better than the past couple of weeks, especially in the northern plains, where you're going to be much drier than normal. This will go from the 19th through the 23rd. You can see some of that drought relief in through the southwest and pretty much along the entire southern tier of the country, where we have at least a 33 to 40% chance of being above normal, and even in some areas closer to 50 to 60% chance of being above normal in terms of precipitation. And it's good that it's especially in the area of the southwest where we really need it for the drought relief issues. And if you look at the current drought monitor, you can see that we do have the exceptional drought in parts of the southwest. They're going to issue their updated drought monitor later today, so I'm just a little bit interested to see whether this has changed at all, because we did see quite a bit of rainfall in the southwest. So I'm assuming they would probably take out some of that exceptional drought, maybe replace it with extreme drought instead. So we'll have to see what happens. But over the southwest, still dealing with a lot of drought issues. So hopefully that can go away over the next couple of weeks and months. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.